If you worked at a bank all day and had no free time, could you get in this kind of shape? My guest today did. Fitness model Tomm Voss is here. He says it's all about finding the right balance, and he's going to tell you how to do that today so you can get in this kind of shape. Great to have you here today, Tomm.
Thank you for having me here, Greg.
Pleasure. So, you were working all day at the bank until 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah, I used to work in JP Morgan in Luxembourg about 6-7 years ago. Before I moved to America. I was competing, bodybuilding.
Yeah, so you're working at the bank, but you're entering fitness competitions and winning it. So how are you working at the bank until 11 o'clock at night, but getting in this kind of shape?
Well, it was pretty much all about balance. It was all about getting the nutrition right, getting my training in, which I did my lunch break throughout the day. I mean, we were working, I was at a desk all the time.
Oh wait, that's right, at Europe, so you get your siestas or something, or what?
No, well, we have an hour lunch break, I think.
Okay, just an hour,
No,
okay.
it's pretty much standard. Plus, if you work overtime, you have a couple of extra.
That's what happens when you work for a damn American bank. You know. European bank, you would have had work time.
It was smart casual, though. I didn't have to wear a tie and suit every day, which was okay.
Is it, you know, over here we call it business casual, but you call
Business,
it smart casual.
Smart casual, yeah.
Okay.
That's what we call it.
In Luxembourg, I've been to Luxembourg, by the way.
Yeah?
You know the fort, I've been in the fort, and I went down the hill, you know, like in the old town, there's everything down at the bottom of the hill. And I took that little train around the old town.
All right.
So I've been to Luxembourg, and I've been across that bridge.
Okay.
So you think I'm making this up, I've been to Luxembourg.
That's good, I believe you now.
And you know what, I walked by JP Morgan Chase, and I took a picture, because I know somebody who works at that bank, and I emailed him. I'll be damned. And
was it right by the airport?
No, this was in Old Town, or something. I was coming up the hill. So it was right in...
It was probably center of Luxembourg.
Anyway, okay, so yeah. But I've been to Luxembourg.
I worked in the business center close to the airport. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because there's the really modern part where all the United Nations stuff is. And
exactly,
yeah.
Close to the Parliament.
There's the Old Town and the New Town.
Right. But I was really dedicated with what I did, getting ready for competitions, which was kind of my passion and my way of getting away from stress and everyday life was going to the gym.
Sure.
And it only took out an hour, hour and a half of my day, 4 to 5 times a week.
By the way, when you worked till 11, what time did you start?
I started at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God.
So, but this was at a time when the market was booming.
Oh,
I mean, the economy that was before the crash,
sure.
Which happened around 2000 or 2001, I think. And when that happened, we didn't have much work. But
so what made you want to get into the fitness competitions? You know, if you're working for the bank and the market's booming or whatever. I mean, was it just personal interest, or, you know, to take it to that level on your lunch break?
I mean, it was a personal interest. It's always been. I mean, I started working out when I was 14 years old. Actually, as a kid, I moved to Luxembourg from Denmark. I'm actually born in Denmark.
Dane.
When I was 10 years old.
By the way, I just want to point out that this is our blonde Danish guy here. And when you look at him today, I just think you look so Latin. It's funny that for your bounty hunter video game, right? Is that what you did this for?
Right, yeah.
He's working on a video game, and he dyed his hair for that, and it completely changes your look. You do not look
My mom doesn't even recognize me anymore, which is maybe a good thing. I don't know. But yeah, we've been working on this project. Do you want to talk about?
Well, let's go back. You were talking about when you got started into bodybuilding, and I actually, now that I think about it, I'd read that you were a fan of Arnold when you were younger.
That's right.
And you were teased by the kids in school because you wanted to be like Arnie. Is that right?
Well, actually, they gave me the nickname Arnie because I started working out, and I think it was the only guy in school who was working out at that time. And
so this actually started before the bank?
Yeah, this was way before the bank. I was probably 14, 15. The whole workout thing came around because when I moved to Luxembourg, I didn't speak the languages, which was English, German, French. I just spoke Danish. So I had to learn all these languages. And I got a little chubby because candy was cheap.
Okay, I love these stories. Don't you love? I love these stories when I find out they're like these fitness models. Dave Nathan was here before. I found out like he used to be big. So how big were you when you were chubby?
I don't even remember. I mean, I was 13 years old. I didn't really.
So you were chubby
enough to be teased for it. Let's put it that way. So I was teased in school for being a little overweight, and it really got to me. You know, kids can be pretty cruel when, you know, in the school stages and
you know what?
stages.
I had one fitness model on the show who told me he used to get beat up for his lunch money, And he went back later when he got in shape, and he went and found the kids and beat them up.
Okay, I wouldn't go to that extreme, but
he did. He went
okay.
and beat them up. So anyway,
well,
just
we
put
have
that out
we all
there.
have different
I don't
goals.
know,
Let's
so
put it that way.
You didn't go back and beat them up.
No, I didn't. Actually, I got a food poisoning, and I lost a lot of weight. And after losing that weight, I said to myself, you know, I really want to get in shape. You know, I don't want to be overweight and don't want to get teased. So I started running every day and playing soccer and all kinds of sports. And I got so skinny that I was really fast. I could run after the ball, but I wasn't strong enough to kick it. Sure. So my brother-in-law took me to the gym when I was about 14 years old.
14, okay, that's pretty young to start.
To make my my legs a little stronger. And he basically taught me about training and so on. And that led to that about a year and a half later, the owner of the fitness studio which I was training in, the gym I was training in, asked me if I wanted to compete in the Luxembourgish national championships in bodybuilding.
Oh.
And
so you must have been doing pretty well.
I guess. I guess I was okay for a junior. I mean, for 15 or 16 years old, I looked really athletic. But I had no idea what bodybuilding was about. And the only reason I agreed to do it was because he offered me a year free membership in his gym, which was a lot of money for me. At that time, I was paying for my own membership. And so I said yes, without knowing what I got myself into.
And how'd you do?
And I actually ended up winning the national championships.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank
you.
So
you were the Luxembourg
champion,
teen bodybuilding champ?
Exactly, when I was 16. But what I didn't know is I qualified for the world championships as a junior. So all of a sudden now I had to represent the country.
So you went to the world championships?
Championships in Spain at that time.
How'd you do?
I did okay. I think I came 14th that year. It was my second championship, but it kind of started a snowball effect.
Sure.
And
it's really, not bad for 14.
It really got me into bodybuilding because I found out I could travel. You know, I could see the world and I could get away, which got me really passionate about it. And my family saw how disciplined I was with eating and training every day after school. I would go to the gym. I would still do my homework, and I would.
So if you started when you're 14, you're what, 25 now?
I'm 25. Yeah.
Okay. So at the time, of course, Arnold's been around for a while, because even more than 10 years certainly. Right. But at what point did you start becoming a fan of his, or?
Pretty much way before that. I mean,
so even before you were working.
I saw Conan when I think I was 8 years old. I saw Conan the Barbarian, and
you said I want to grow up and be
Terminator
just like that.
and all those. So I was pretty much a fan back then already, and back then I already wanted to. I knew I wanted to come to America. For some reason, I was just drawn to America, and actually through the sport and all the work I've put into it, it has opened up the opportunity to come here. And
yeah. So how did you get here? So you won that championship and started thinking about traveling. Is that what led, or how did you actually?
I won a lot of championships. Actually, I competed in Germany. I did the World Championships 5 times. Best placing was 5th out of I think 32 countries, and won an award of excellence for physical development at the age of 20. It gave me sponsors. And all of a sudden, it just opened up a whole new world. At the same time, I was still working in the bank from the age of 18. Okay. And,
well, we will be right back with fitness model Tomm Voss right after this, and we'll find out about the body double for Jay Leno. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, that's right.
We'll be right back.
That's right.
We were back with fitness model Tomm Voss today, telling you how you can get in this kind of great shape. You said something interesting during commercials. You said you wanted to tell people that sometimes that kind of teasing in high school can lead to something positive. You want to?
I mean, through all that criticism I got, no matter what shape I was in and how I looked, I kind of learned not to listen to other people. I learned to listen to myself and what I liked first before I started taking other people's criticism.
Well, you know what, there can't be anything dumber than listening to the kids in high school, because let's face it, those people are, they always say it's like, the popular kids in high school are the ones who don't do anything, it doesn't matter what they think in high school, you know what I mean? Everything interesting happens after high school. I mean, when you go off to school or get a job or working, whatever, I mean, that's when your life is
you don't really know when you're there. I mean,
right.
You don't really have a clue when you're there. But you pretty much have two choices. A lot of people, when they get that criticism and get teased for either being overweight or skinny or looking goofy or whatever they tease for, you always have two options. One is you can take it and go down and take it in a negative way.
Yep. Yeah.
And really let it get to you.
A lot of people do these days, by the way, with all that school violence.
Or you can take it in a positive way and use that criticism, that force to drive you forward, you know, which is kind of what
like
I did.
I'll show them, but in a good way, maybe.
In a good way, you know, and that kind of turns into ambition and motivation, and it turns into success. Once you start having that drive, all of a sudden you start accomplishing all these things, and believe me, everything is possible if you just put it in your mind. Everything is possible. And once you have that, the whole thing, I'll show you, starts going away, and you start seeing that you can actually do good and do something good for other people with what you do.
Yep.
So that's what I kind of wanted to say.
Well, before the break, I mentioned the stint you'd been doing as Jay Leno's body double. But I guess first we should get you to America. So how did you actually make it over here? Because it's not, you know, it's one thing we take for granted as Americans is, you know, living in this country. But I have a lot of friends from Europe, and, you know, people tell me, and then maybe even after 9/11 too, it's harder and harder to get into America.
Right.
So how do you actually how do you immigrate to America legally?
I mean,
California, we know how you get here illegally. I just want to know how you get here legally.
Swimming.
Yeah, walking, running.
It's a long swim from Denmark, I tell you that.
Yeah.
No, I actually moved here in 2001. My family bought me my ticket for Christmas.
Okay,
I didn't.
So mom and dad got the ticket. Okay.
My whole family actually got me the ticket.
Oh,
I didn't have the money myself, and that was a Christmas present. And I flew here on January 13th. And I still have the return ticket.
But don't you need? I mean, you need a visa or something to get in.
I did. I came here on a tourist visa, and I had been here prior, a couple of months before, and had a shoot with Muscle and Fitness. So I kind of knew a gym, the first gym I shot at, and I knew Muscle and Fitness. That was the only thing I knew in America. So, and they had said if I was gonna come here, live here, they would work a lot with me. So I decided to move here, and I started personal training. Is kind of how I started making a living and doing these shoots for Men's Fitness and Muscle and Fitness and so on.
And it worked out well for you because you were a fan of Joe Weider, I think, was somebody else you admired.
Yeah, Weider was one of the biggest companies in the industry, and they only sign on the best people in the world. So when I came here, I said, I want to be with Weider. That was kind of one of my goals. Everybody was telling me, you can't. You're not a professional bodybuilder. You're just a skinny fitness guy. And,
well, I guess you showed them that, right? Because
after a year, after a year, they offered me a contract because I had shot with them so much, and which is another amazing story. Actually, they sent me on Hollywood Squares because all of a sudden I was a spokesperson for Muscle and Fitness, and they wanted me to.
They were looking for a fitness person on Hollywood
like
Squares.
Fitness models or fit people or whatever it was. And I had never seen the show in my life, and Weider told me, we would like you to represent us on the show. You can win cars and stuff. And
you did.
Never seen the show in my life. Yeah, ended up winning the whole show. Three days after getting my visa, signing my contract. So
what did you win? You won the car?
I wanted a brand new Jeep,
okay.
and $3,000.
$3,000.
So I love America.
Yeah, everybody, you come here, you can get on a game show, you win car and money, and that's the way it always works, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
And then, so how did this come about with Jay Leno? What are you doing with him?
I've been doing a couple of sketches with him. I think I've been on there probably 7 times now. Whenever you see Jay Leno without his shirt on, it's usually my body there.
You mean that's not really him?
I'm sorry to
you know, I don't know. I just kind of thought that maybe Jay Leno looked like this, you know?
Well, you know, it hides under the shirt, doesn't it?
It hides it, that suit, you know, I'm telling you. That's really the way it is. Well, I'll tell you, before the interview, I asked, actually, you know, the reason you're here today, by the way, besides the fact that you agreed to do it, a viewer had emailed me and said, Greg, you should interview Tomm Voss. And I looked you up and I thought, yeah, I think we will, because, you know, the fitness shows have been very popular. So I asked Brian Slickman Galicki in Michigan, I said I'd get a shout out there, if he had any questions for you, because he was the guy who suggested we interview you.
Hey, Brian.
Hey. See, we hook people up around here. But he wanted to know, he had several questions, and one was, I believe, what part of the body do people neglect the most? What do you notice in the gym as a trainer? What are people overlooking?
I would usually, I would say legs People hate
yeah.
training legs because it's really hard and it takes a lot out of you.
And you know what? I just want to say, of course, I've always been probably reverse or opposite of what I should be, but you know, my legs are the only damn part of me that are in shape because I run a lot, and I'm not vain about anything. I am a little bit vain about my legs, though. I feel like maybe I have nice legs because I run a lot, but nothing else is in shape, just my legs. But everybody else is just the opposite, though. A lot of guys are very, I would say, like top heavy. They're great up above, but they have skinny legs.
Exactly. I mean, they usually want to train arms and chest.
Yeah.
Everybody
wants big arms, big chest.
And
they forget about the legs.
And neglect the rest, but also back. A lot of people neglect to train their back, which is very important from a healthy standpoint.
Yep. I'm thinking about trainers right now, telling me about posture and everything. So.
Yeah, exactly, about posture.
That's why I do these
lower
shows.
Back. You know, a lot of people sit down all day and they get back problems because they never really strengthen their back. So. Working out in many ways actually stimulates both your mind and your body. And
sure. Well, the Greeks always said, and I believe to this day, that healthy body, healthy mind. Exactly. And I don't think, you know, if you're laid up in the hospital, it's hard to really be an active person even mentally versus, you know, it all comes together. So I don't think you can neglect the one versus the other.
Right.
So.
Which is true. I mean, which is very true. I mean, I've learned that as well. Working out, and a lot of people have always told me, oh, you know, it's stupid to lift weights or only meathead lift weights, but it's actually always been a way for me to kind of get away from stress and learn to focus and
that's why I
feel
run.
Good.
When I was saying about the legs, the reason I like to run is, well, number one, I get it like a jogger's high, but it clears your mind.
You feel good.
I get it kind of a high running. Right. So I don't use drugs, I just go running.
Exactly, it is kind of a drug. I mean, I go to the gym, if I can be stressed out, I go to the gym afterwards, I feel like a new person, you know, I feel relaxed, I feel good. And a lot of people don't know that. They are so afraid of getting in the gym, first of all, because they're not in shape and they think they have to be in shape to be in the gym.
Yeah.
They get intimidated, which, you know, which it shouldn't be that way, because everybody goes to the gym to get in shape.
Because it's hard to get in shape if you're not going to the gym.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's kind of a vicious circle there, you know, that.
So, I mean, anything is possible, and it's not really hard to get in shape. It's not really that hard. It's all about balance, you know, having the right workout and the right nutrition. And getting in shape doesn't mean you have to starve yourself.
Yeah,
I mean,
and we said that too at the beginning. So what is the right balance, and how do you find that?
I mean, I make sure my body gets everything it needs in terms of protein, fats, and carbohydrates, which means I'm never starving. I eat 5 to 6 times a day, but good foods.
So the 5 to 6 times, the small meals.
Yeah, smaller meals, yeah. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You gotta have breakfast.
Big breakfast or little breakfast?
No, a well-balanced breakfast. You know, you need to have some protein, some healthy fats, and some carbs, some fibrous carbs. And that really fuels you for the day.
How many calories do you think you have for breakfast?
I would say if you eat 5 meals a day, probably 500 calories a meal.
500 per meal. Yeah. Okay, so it's evenly
that
spaced.
way you have it balanced. And if you eat 5 meals a day, your metabolism stays even throughout the day. If you only eat 3 meals, your metabolism goes like
up
this.
And down. Yeah.
But if you eat five times a day, it stays up.
So I guess it's true what so many of the fitness guys say is that the small meals keep your metabolism going, and that really. I saw something, I think on your website, that or maybe one of the articles, something like the chocolate pancakes or something. Now that sounded interesting to me. It was like Tomm Voss's chocolate
oatmeal pancakes.
Oatmeal pancakes.
Oatmeal
okay,
protein pancakes.
Oatmeal. Wasn't there chocolate in there? Chocolate oatmeal.
You can add something. It's basically something I came up with while I was competing. I'm sure a lot of people know about it already, but I basically took just regular egg whites, probably 5 or 6 egg whites, put them in a blender, and oatmeal, dry oatmeal, and blended it with the eggs, and it kind of creates this paste, which is kind of like pancake dough or whatever you want to call it. Add some Splenda, a little sweetener, put it on the pan, and you have the healthiest pancake you can get, which is a great way to fight craving, and you have a really balanced breakfast that way.
How many calories is that, do you think?
I think probably 300, 350 calories. You can add fruit, you can add sugar-free syrup.
And that doesn't take a lot of cooking ability, which is always an important consideration for me.
It's very easy.
We'll be right back with fitness model Tomm Voss right after this. Okay, we are back with fitness model Tomm Voss, and this is another cover with Tom. We've got a picture here also of you with Brittany Murphy. Left a few scars on you, apparently. And you've
That's a rough day.
A rough day. And I don't know. You look like you might be enjoying it. I don't know. But
I was.
so you've also had a photo shoot with Pam Anderson, I think you said.
I did, yeah, with David LaChapelle, a photographer for Italian Vogue. It was about a bit over a year ago now. A spread for Italian Vogue with Pamela Anderson, which was kind of surreal because I mean, I had her poster on my wall when I was a kid.
Now you've got a poster of you with her on your wall or something, you know?
Yeah, it was really surreal. Actually, at the shoot, I was thinking, I wish my friends could see this. You know, people, guys I went to school with. You know, it was
those kids who used to make fun of you.
Exactly,
for,
but not
out.
for that reason. Just for the reason of having a photo shoot with Pamela Anderson is especially coming from
Europe. She's married now.
I know, which is okay. You know.
Just thought I'd throw that out there. Okay, so I wanted to ask a few more of these questions that the audience sent in, and one was, and these are, okay, Brian Slickman. I had to get that in there. What are the best exercises to build mass on the following parts of the body? And the chest was one of them. So what are the best exercises for building up the chest?
Well, there are some basic exercises. Everything that's pretty much pushing is building size. So you have barbell bench press and dumbbell bench press, both flat bench and incline.
Now do you do more dumbbell or barbell or both?
I alternate. I always
okay.
alternate to kind of shock the body or give the body some different variety.
Because sometimes people tell you like the barbells are good for stability or something, but you...
Most important for building mass is also nutrition. I mean, nutrition is pretty much 70 to 75% of everything. It's the building blocks.
Yeah. And I always think, I think for me, I think that's the hardest part is the nutrition. Because you can go, I mean, I can get in a mode where I'm going to the gym and all that, and fine, I'm sure I could push myself more. But the nutrition is the hardest part, eating right.
Right.
You know what I mean? For me, at least, it's always been the nutrition. And if you don't eat right, it doesn't matter how much you work out.
When you get into, it's all about getting into a habit or a regimen. And once you're into that, it's pretty easy. It takes you about 2 weeks to adjust to a new, what do you call it, nutrition plan. And a lot of people give up before they even get there. And the body adjusts within 2 to 3 weeks with training. And like I said before, it's all about balance. I mean, I make sure my body gets enough rest.
How much do you sleep a night?
Probably 8 hours.
8 hours. Okay.
8 hours
So you get the full.
I only train 4 days a week.
4 days a week? And days off in between,
yeah,
obviously.
I have 3 days off. Yeah.
Okay.
I train 2 days, 1 day off, 2 days, then have the weekends off, so my body can rest and recover.
Take your weekends off?
Overtraining is bad.
Another question from Brian. What is the difference between doing high rep sets with less weight and low rep sets with more weight?
High rep sets with less weight is more for toning, toning up and sculpting, whereas low reps with high weights is more for strengthening.
Oh, okay.
You have different muscle cells, like a sprinter and a marathon runner have different size muscles as well. The low rep high weight is for power. You use white muscle cells, which use a lot of oxygen, or they can actually work on less oxygen. That's what I was going to say. For powerlifting, you see these powerlifters. They're not really that muscular. They're more just big and meaty. Yeah. That's because they have a lot of white muscle cells. Whereas a bodybuilder trains on endurance as well, which builds size. So it's actually good to find a balance between the two.
So what do you do?
I pretty much train, I go as heavy as I can, but still keep my reps high. I never go below 8 reps on any set I do.
Reps, okay.
Yeah, on any set I do, on any exercise.
And what's the maximum you would do?
In terms of weight?
No, number of reps.
Probably 25 to 30 reps.
Really?
And I keep increasing my weight. I'll do my first set, and I'll do about 30 reps, and I'll keep increasing my weight until I can just do 8, the last one.
Okay. He also asks, how much and how intense should a person's cardio program be in order to not lose muscle but still burn fat?
That's a good question. I usually do incline walking at a good pace. That way you don't burn too much muscle. Running, you can really tap into your muscle burning, use up all your nutrients.
So you do the cardio, but not too fast.
I do the cardio, yeah, but 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, because then you start tapping into fat, and you still preserve your muscle. You don't burn away your muscle. Running, for many reasons, can be bad for you, for your knees, and also.
Naturally, I've always loved running, so.
Yeah, well, it's okay. Running is still good, but in terms of preserving muscle, running might not be the best thing.
Well, yeah, people tell me that, yeah.
So probably three to four times a week, 45 minutes is.
And how fast are you walking?
Probably at 3.6 miles per hour.
And how much of an incline?
I think it's 8 on the machine. I don't know even know if it's percentage.
That's a pretty good incline.
But 8, yeah.
Okay, well, he also asked him about some of the other parts of the body. So let's say exercises for the arms. And again, chest and arms, guys always want to know chest and arms. So
Brian, what are you thinking? So what do you want? He wants to know exercises for
best for probably for building up biceps, let's say, I guess. Or build, he says build mass on the arms.
On biceps. I would say preacher curls, barbell curls, dumbbell curls. I mean, pretty much any exercise if it's done intensely enough. And your nutrition is right, you'll build muscle.
How do you push yourself? It's one thing, you're a trainer, you've done training. I guess you don't have time for it now, but you've done training. When you have a trainer, they push you. How do you push yourself? Because without a trainer, it's hard to push yourself.
Well, I've been training for 10, nearly 11 years now, so I know what my workout is going to be like. And I pretty much, before I work out, I mentally focus on what I have to do. And I never stop if I'm not done. And mentally, I always see what I want to achieve in front of me, and that's how I push myself.
You're just hardcore.
Well, it's all about having your goal in your head with anything you want to achieve in your life, and eventually you'll get there.
This is Tomm Voss, fitness model, going for it here, getting in this kind of great shape. God, it makes me want to head off to the gym right now. Thanks, Tomm, for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks, Brian Slickman, Slickman for the questions.
Glicky.
So much for my shout out there.